Okay, we're finally getting started here, and yeah, we struggled with Valve patching the servers, and doing some maintenance and such while we were trying to get a match going. So that kind of stinks, but yeah, we've got everything to go here and ready to go, and yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and see the picks and ban phase start. And I'm not surprised to see the Doom and Faceless Void bans by any mean. I think those are heroes that have been giving folks a decent amount of trouble lately. Or maybe that's just me. It might just be me. And a silencer ban, that's interesting. Surprised to see the silencer ban. But yeah, everybody was trying to, or when they were setting the passwords, they were saying that the password for the lobby was the hero of the week, and I couldn't even remember what we did.
10 seconds to go.
So there's that, I guess.
5 seconds. Reserve time.
Okay, and we have a Shadow Shaman first pick. No surprises there. Shadow Shaman has really been, yeah, just a really, really popular hero as of late, even in the pro and beginner meta. Yeah, he just has so much disable between the Hex and the Shackles. And then also a decent amount of damage output as well with the Ether Shock and the Mass Serpent Ward. And I'm kind of glad to see the Dire pick up the Death Prophet, because the Shadow Shaman Death Prophet combo can really just bring so much push to the game, and really is quite dangerous because you can dive towers pretty easily with Death Prophet, and then also put up the Mass Serpent Wards to just really cause a ton of trouble and really just push quite quickly.
Reserve time. Radiant's pick.
And we do see a Venomancer pick up. I like this quite a bit. Big fan of the Venomancer. Has a decent amount of damage potential between the Venomous Gale and the Poison Nova, but also the Poison Sting and the Plague Wards really just makes, yeah, you really just have a decent amount of teamfight potential, and also a little bit of disable with the Venomous Gale, or a little bit of slow power there.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds.
And yeah, we also have a Lich pickup. I do like Lich quite a bit. The execution with him is pretty easy. All you really have to do is, yeah, you have the sacrifice to deny creeps and also keep your mana, so you don't have to worry so much about blowing through a lot of spells, and you can spam them and stuff, and use Frost Armor on your allies and also on towers, which I think people forget that you can do that. And then also the Frost Blast is just a really nice damage spell and a little bit of slow. And then the Chain Frost is pretty good in team fights if the other team doesn't split up too well. So that's something to look out for.
Ten seconds to go. 5 seconds. Reserve time. Radiant's ban. Ten seconds to go. 5 seconds. Reserve time.
Okay, and I'm back. I was chatting with my wife. Okay, so we have a Tidehunter ban, which Tidehunter is a pretty good ban given the Lich Chain Frost combo is pretty decent. Yeah, I think that's a decent ban, and he can be just a pain in the butt to deal with to begin with.
Dyer's ban. 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds.
And an axe ban, I'm not entirely sure what the thought process was that. I think that's maybe...
Reserve time.
I think I've seen either Kyler or Hugh play axe before, and I think he's got a pretty decent axe, one of those two.
Dyer's pick.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure who was playing axe, but I seem to remember somebody having a good axe. And all these bans are just banning out push heroes, which is crazy. Not sure if I should be surprised about that or not. I feel like I am. I think everyone pays way too much attention to the pro scene meta game
Seconds to go.
than what they need to. I feel like a lot of times we all just need to focus better on like the basics. You know what I mean? Work on last hitting better, work on movement across the map, work on team fights, and then maybe worry about the meta game a little bit more. Because I think you can even when you pick heroes that are quote unquote not in the meta right now, you can easily beat stuff that is good in the meta game right now just by playing better, just by getting better farm, you know, that sort of stuff. And we do see a Pugna pickup, and yeah, the Dire team is looking to be a little bit scary with the push that they have from the Death Prophet Exorcism and the Venomancer Plague Wards and the Pugna Nether Blast. And we also see a Tiny pickup. Tiny can be quite dangerous in the late game once he gets a ton of farm up. He can really just take buildings down quite quickly.
10 seconds to go.
So he's definitely someone to look out for.
5 seconds.
And nobody is currently watching on Twitch, but hopefully on YouTube this gets a couple of views. I would like that very much. So we are going to see the last couple of pickups here. I would assume we'll need maybe another support and another core from the Dire. And I would assume probably a mid laner and some sort of off laner
Radiant's pick.
for Talon's Team of Science.
Dyer's ban.
And I do like this Dragon Knight pickup quite a bit. He does bring a little bit of damage, but a lot of sustain and a lot of pushing power in the form of the Dragon form. And the Trinity Protector is also good as well. He does have the living armor, which he can use on the towers, which is kind of a bit of an anti-push. And Lich can also use the ice armor on whatever tower he's next to. So that is a decent amount of anti-push. So I do like that quite a bit. I'm just not sure which... If you have a push lineup and then somewhat of an anti-push lineup, I'm not entirely sure how those two play out. I'm not sure which one's better than the other. This might sound like a bit of a shocker, but whichever team plays better is going to win. That's like a John Madden type comment.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Reserve time.
and a Centaur War Runner band. Not entirely sure if Centaur would have fit into this lineup. I guess he would have been okay, for sure, but yeah, not a bad band. And a Tinker band. Tinker makes a really strange sound when he's banned. And I also think that's actually a really, really good band. Just from the global pushing power you have with Tinker and his ability to just keep all the lanes pushed out all the time. Yeah, that's a really nice band. So it makes me wonder if maybe they were thinking of picking up Tinker. It would be an okay draft. But one thing that the Dire team doesn't have a lot of is Disable. And okay, a Bristleback and a Luna pick. Okay, yeah, not too bad. Really, all that Dragon Knight has, as far as Disable goes, and the whole team goes, is the Dragon Tail, which is a melee spell when he's in, regular form. But when he's in ultimate form, it's ranged. So yeah, you have also on the Radiant side, you have the Luna mini stun with her Q, and then also a ton of Disable from Shadow Shaman. So yeah, it is a little worrisome. And I feel like the tiny Luna draft is maybe a little on the greedy side because both of those need quite a bit of farm to get going. But yeah, not sure how that's going to play out. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Better get ready.
Let's go ahead and put some other. Let's put some other UI up here. We'll just go with the default. All right. Okay. So yeah, I will go ahead and introduce the lanes, and we'll take a look at it from there. We have Fuzzy Logic playing the Shadow Shaman. Surprised that Last Talon is not playing the Shadow Shaman. He normally plays a pretty good Shadow Shaman. And we have City on the Luna. And my phone is blowing up. We have Last Talent on the Treant Protector.
30 seconds to showtime.
And Codes on the Tiny in the off lane. That is an interesting off lane. And it looks like this Luna will be playing mid. And we have a Shadow Shaman, Treant Protector, safe lane. And Eris next will be playing the Lich. And on the Dire side, we have Captain Trips on the Dragon Knight. Snack on the Death Prophet with a killer Death Prophet set. I do like that quite a bit. And it looks like Death Prophet will be mid. And we have Kyler on the Pugna. Hugh on the Venomancer. And Booker DeWitt on Bristleback. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Bristleback is the classic offlaner, and this is a bit of like a dual support lane. So I'm not sure how I feel about laning this. I think I'd rather see maybe Shadow Shaman go mid and Luna go off lane, but Luna's okay mid. I think I'd actually rather see Tiny. I think I'd rather see Treant Protector and Lich rotate and maybe have a roaming Treant Protector support. But yeah, on the Dire side, we do have a Dragon Knight Pugna safe lane with, I'm not sure if this is roaming Venomancer support or a tri-lane. Looks like it's going to be a tri-lane, so I think we're going to go ahead and see Hugh pull this lane, which he is. Just to get a little extra farm in that tri-lane position can be a little tough. And Booker DeWitt might go down here. He is getting quite low. A lot of harassment going down, but he does pop that healing salve to get himself back up to health. And that was actually a pretty close one. I do like Venomancer in a tri-lane, but I'm not sure how I like him with Dragon Knight and Pugna. And Lich sliding in here, trying to come in, rotating around to try and do a little bit of harassment. We do have the avalanche damage doing a decent amount of work on the Dire here, and Venomancer getting quite low. We might have a first blood here. Just one more right click will take him down, and I think he's going to get away okay, unless we can get off one more Frost Nova here. But no, he doesn't have health, and they might be able to turn this around and get a kill on the Lich, and we do have a Venomancer first blood. And Tiny does have living armor on him. I think he'll be quite okay in this situation, but it is going to be close. As we do have Luna rotating up with the double damage rune, this could be interesting. Luna does get a double kill on the Venomancer and the Pugna, and she is just doing work with that double damage rune, but does not have enough for a Lucent Beam. So the Dire did get the first blood there, but I'm not sure. I don't think. I think that's going to be mostly even, as we do see Bristleback in the off lane here being quite aggressive yet again, and almost paying with his life because of it. As soon as the Shadow Shaman does get up these mass Serpent Wards, they're going to be able to take him down. And he is playing a bit far forward here. He's going to have to be careful escaping with 45 hit points. Whew, living life on the edge. Rough life. And for Death Prophet, we do have the Bottle and Circlet coming out. And Luna does have those Death Prophet ahead by about 200 gold. So she does need to buy some items though. Not sure if we can expect to see any of that coming out. And Death Prophet is taking a little bit of harassment, but nothing that can't be overcome. And it looks like this Bristleback got harassed way back into the fountain. So this is a pretty active early game already. The thing about doing a tri-lane with a Pugna is I really think you need to make sure you keep the wave pushed forward so you can keep using that Nether Ward. So you definitely want to be trying to deny as much as possible and... or not deny, excuse me. Attack your creep waves, or attack the enemy creeps and keep that wave pushed forward as much as you can. And we do have Lich rotating in here again, and I think this might be one dead Lich yet again, unfortunately. And Tiny rotating in to save the day, but he might just get both of them killed. So hopefully, I think Lich is going to be able to get out of here. Toss is going to do a little bit of damage to the Dragon Knight, as we do see a Breathe Fire and a Nether Blast. And quite a bit of damage for really... I'm not really sure the Radiant were really able to capitalize on any of that movement by any means. Didn't get any wards down or anything like that, so... Not sure if I like that movement or not, or not sure if I like that movement from the Lich. And the Eclipse is going to be used on the Death Prophet, but without any disabled, not really going to be able to do too much. So that was a bit of a wasted ultimate from the Luna. Definitely want to make sure you have somebody who can rotate in and disable the Death Prophet if you're going to try and go in with an ultimate like that. Especially when the Death Prophet has a Bottle, Tango, and Clarities sitting. So, and Death Prophet might actually be able to turn this around, but no, just does a little bit of harassment to get her out of there. So if we take a look at the farm, this Bristleback, given how dangerously he's been living life in the offlane here, he's actually leading in farm. And has gotten a couple denies to boot. And the Treant Protector... Yeah, the Shadow Shaman and the Treant Protector haven't really been able to capitalize on all this farm they've been given. So I think they've maybe just been trying to set up a Bristleback kill. And we do have a ping here, so let's see what's going to happen. We do have the Shackles go down. And, yeah, yet again, they don't have enough burst damage to take down the Bristleback. So I think they really are going to want... You know, to maybe tell Luna, hey, rotate down and go ahead and use that ultimate, and they'd be able to take him down, no problem. And we finally see this tri-lane starting to push forward into this tower. Keep the Tiny and Lich under the tower, and it's really difficult to farm under the tower as well. And we do see a good Nether Ward placement here from Kyler on the Pugna. Keep that ward hidden so that when Lich and Tiny start casting their spells, they get bopped with the Nether Ward. So Luna looks like she's going to be going for the power treads, which is a good pickup for her, of course. Bristleback harassed out of lane yet again. And not sure what Death Prophet is trying to do. Looks like she's going to start roaming for kills, so we'll see what happens here if she's able to make anything happen here. Because they don't have any vision of where she is, so... and oh boy, look out Shadow Shaman, here we go. Let's see if she's going to pop the Exorcism. We're going to see Last Talon take off the, or cut off the Bristleback, and go ahead and pop the Exorcism, and Death Prophet's going to go down. Or no, excuse me, Shadow Shaman's going to go down, and the Treant goes down as well, so that's a nice double kill for the Dire. Death Prophet doing exactly what you need to do there, rotating in and, yeah, getting kills. Looks like we're going to see a Dragon Knight kill here, almost, yet again. Not quite able to get the burst damage, and I feel so bad for this offlane. That's the second time they've been able to almost get a kill, and haven't really been able to make it happen. And taking a look at the levels, we almost have a level 6 ready to go. We do have the Death Prophet with level 6 and the Bristleback with level 6. Luna does have her ultimate online ready to go. And Shadow Shaman's pinging out the Death Prophet, but I don't think they're really going to be able to do too much here. And in the river, Luna's going to sniff out Death Prophet here. Not really sure if... Oh, Luna's going in a little deep here, but not going to do too much with it. I did hear an Ether Shock down here. And Bristleback, yet again, quite low on health. Not sure what exactly is going to happen here. Bristleback is baiting it out, and we do have a pause. Oh boy. And we do have an Eclipse go down, and that does get the kill on the Bristleback, so definitely a good use of the ultimate there, especially at this level. You want to go ahead and use that to get some kills. Especially at level 1, as I was just checking there. The maximum number of beams you can get hit with is 4, but the max number of beams that Eclipse does is 4. And I know Last Talon had talked about using using a We Like Dota banner, but I do not see it yet. And the Dragon Knight really hasn't been able to capitalize on this tri-lane farm very much. He does have 17 last hits, but it's not, you know, it's not maximizing, you know, anything like what the, you know, the Tiny's beating him, and he's in the off lane, so that kind of stinks on their part. And we do have a Bristleback Death Prophet rotation in the mid lane here, and Luna's going to go down, does throw out that last Lucent Beam just to do a little bit of damage, but yeah, that's going to be one dead Luna. But yeah, the thing about this tri-lane is I don't think they've really been able to capitalize on it too much, because Tiny's level 7, Lich is level 6, Dragon Knight's level 6 and only has 18 CS for his name, Pugn is level 5. So we do see that Dragon Tail, while Dragon Knight is in the ultimate form, and a toss is going to do quite a bit of damage to Dragon Knight, but they are going to chase out the Tiny. Let's see if anything's going to happen. I think Tiny's going to be able to get away, no problem. As in the offlane, Bristleback also goes down, and it looks like we're going to see a Treant Protector kill as well if they're going to go ahead and dive this tower. And Luna rotates in and hits with that Lucent Beam, as we do see a Death Prophet kill, and I think we might see a Bristleback kill as well. Luna does have she doesn't have an Eclipse ready to go, but she does have the Lucent Beam, and the clutch Mass Serpent Ward's going to go ahead and help take down Bristleback. And yeah, well played there. Well, we did have a Lich kill in the top lane, so quite a bit of pushing here. And it looks like Venomancer is forced to go back to base. Not sitting on too much mana. And I think the Dire are, well, at least according to the graphs here, the Dire are definitely ahead. Mostly just from kills, but also I think they've just been doing a lot more as far as farming goes. But look at the difference in XP, and I think that's evident of this tri-lane, because they really haven't, the Dire haven't really been able to capitalize on the tri-lane all that much. So, but they do have 2 solo lanes because of that, so yeah, I'm not sure. And we do see the XP graph start to swing into the Radiant's favor. As we do have Dire forces rotating through the Radiant jungle, and I think we're going to see... No, I thought we were going to see a little bit of a push here, but not too much going on. Bristleback checking up on Roshan. I think if they're able to get everyone there, they could take Roshan, but solo Roshan is definitely not going to happen. Dragon Knight is sitting on the Soul Ring, which is nice. It allows him to cast Breathe Fire quite a bit. Chain Frost going down, bouncing around, doing a ton of damage. Going to take down the Dragon Knight with it. Still bouncing around. They might be able to get a Venomancer kill here, and I think Venomancer is going to get away no problem. As we do have Death Prophet sneaking around from the back, and Lich is in the trees. Tiny's in the trees. We do see Lich go down. And I think we're going to see a Tiny kill as well. Yeah, and this Death Prophet has just been on a tear. That is 4 kills for Death Prophet. So she's going to be sitting pretty. Lots of items for Death Prophet. It's like Christmas time for her. And we do see a Pugna kill in the mid lane. And in the bottom lane, we do see Bristleback killing Luna. I haven't missed any kills yet, but I've been close. I'm doing better. So for kills, we do have Luna leading in the kill charts, with Death Prophet, Bristleback, and Venomancer trailing behind. And we do see these Shadow Shaman Mass Serpent Wards going down to do a decent amount of work against the tower. But I think this Pugna will be able to clean them up no problem. So the Radiant are pushed back. And Tiny here getting a little aggressive given that he's solo. He does have those power treads and the stout shield, so that will keep him alive along with the living armor. That thing is so nice since it's global. You can just cast it on anyone whenever they get in trouble. Luna teleporting in to maybe try and get the Dire forces to push forward a little bit. Well, we do have a little bit of engagement brewing up in the mid lane, and the Eclipse doing a massive amount of damage as Venomancer does go down. And it's not over yet, folks. I think we're going to see a Lucent Beam on the Dragon Knight, but I think they're going to go ahead and back up. And Luna's going to dive a little bit, takes a little bit of tower damage. Dragon Tail going to be used on the Tiny to do a short stun. But I think they are going to go ahead and dive this, as I do hear Death Prophet popping the Exorcism and rotating it, and all of a sudden these 3 Radiant heroes are definitely in trouble, and that's going to be a double kill for Death Prophet with the Exorcism. And these Death Prophet rotations have just been killer. They have just been cleaning house and winning this match handily for the Dire. So good on Snack for these excellent rotations. An engagement starts, and then it seems like out of nowhere, Death Prophet rotates in and just starts cleaning house.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
So we are probably going to see a tier 1 tower go down for the Radiant.
Radiant's top tower's hurt.
As the Radiant does rotate back in, Toss and Avalanche doing a decent amount of work, but Tiny, I'm not sure if you want to go in here, bud. It's 3-on-1, and we might see another Tiny kill. And yeah, there we go. Luna does rotate in and will probably pop a Lucent Beam here, but she does think better of it and back up. But we do have Treant Protector and Lich rotating in while Shadow Shaman's just kind of hanging out in the mid lane. So he does rotate down to the bottom lane. And let's see if the Radiant are able to make anything happen here. Do a little counter push action, but I don't think so. Dragon Knight and Death Prophet go ahead and do the Delta split while Death Prophet rotates back into the mid lane to meet up with Pugna. So I'm thinking they might want to try and go ahead and take down this tier 1 tower.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
And Dragon Knight's going to go ahead and try and defend the Luna Tiny push. While, where is Tiny? Tiny went back to base. So just the Luna push. And yeah, it looks like the Dire's going to go ahead and push out this tier 1 mid lane. Tier 1 mid lane tower, which is a good move. The mid lane tower is definitely one that's very valuable because it just gives you so much map control when it's up. And Luna rotating in a little far forward here. Going to go ahead and dedicate the Exorcism and the Poison Nova here. And with this Exorcism pop, they need to go ahead and rotate in here, especially with all these creeps here. Rotate in and start taking down this tower. While the Living Armor is used to kind of counteract the Exorcism, we do see the Glyph being used as well to help stop that. And yeah, tons of Plague Wards going down, and Tiny's going to die a little far forward here past the tower, especially when that Exorcism is popped like that. And yeah, the Dire are just going to go ahead and clean up the Radiant, no problem. So that's a 4-for-0 exchange. And I'm not sure where Shadow Shaman went down. I guess, did everyone go down in the mid lane? Yeah. So quite a bit committed from the Radiant with no reward from it. So you hate to see that happen, and it looks like the Dire are just starting to clean house here.
One last top tower for the Radiant.
And Dragon Knight's going to be going for the Helm of the Dominator, which is nice, gives him a lot of sustain. Luna creeping around here, and oh boy, let's see if she's able to commit here. The Eclipse is popped while the Dragon Tail stun goes down, and that's going to be a dead Dragon Knight with the Tiny and Shadow Shaman rotating in just for good measure. Bristleback is sitting on that Vanguard, which, as we all know, Merlini hates. Death Prophet working on her Bloodstone is almost there. Let's see what else. Shadow Shaman sitting on Arcane Boots and an Urn. Lich going for probably drums. Tiny probably working towards Ag Scepter, but nowhere near. That's gonna be a while. So the Dire definitely, as long as they just keep pushing and not giving up fights, they're gonna be in a good spot. And a nice Shackle gonna help Shadow Shaman to use those wards against Bristleback. And that is a 2-for-1 exchange. A Shadow Shaman does go down. And all sorts of damage going out thanks to these Mass Serpent wards, while Death Prophet does have the Rune of Haste and does pop the Exorcism. One more right click will take down Luna, while Dragon Knight does chase out Tiny. Tiny's escaping just by the skin of his teeth with 150 HP. So that's a 2-for-2 exchange, and that definitely does favor the Dire. If they're already ahead and they're exchanging evenly, they're going to be coming out ahead on those exchanges. But Lich did get a kill on Venomancer in the off lane.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help. Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
And yeah, this game is not looking good for the Radiant. They are way ahead. That's about a 6,000 gold lead favoring the Dire. I feel like in the future we might want to double check that auto balance button to make sure that happens. Big fan of the snack Death Prophet item set here. I like that quite a bit. On the Venomancer, I do have the AC signed Plague Wards. I do like those quite a bit. Big fan of the Venomancer. In the mid lane, Venomancer being quite aggressive here. Going to go down thanks to the Toss Avalanche combo. Quite a bit of burst there from the Luna and the Tiny, as we see Treant Protector just blown up in the off lane here, and we also see a dead Shadow Shaman. I would expect we might see GG anytime. And Death Prophet going to work on these Mass Serpent Wards, and they're just not doing anything to her. This is a cool courier. This reminds me of a mount I had in World of Warcraft. Eclipse is going to be popped, and Death Prophet escaping with just about 80 HP. Chain Frost going to be used, not going to do too much, as we do have Death Prophet counter-initiating and does take down the Luna in a nice cheeky little play there. But yeah, that will be a Death Prophet kill finally as Lich takes her down. They actually kill each other. So that's going to be a happy Lich. He did get 1,000... How much gold did he get for that? 1,300 gold for that kill. So Lich is going to be buying some items here. He looks like he might be going for the mechanism, which is going to help out quite a bit. We haven't seen any mechs come into play yet, at least not that I'm aware of. How do I show items? Can I show items? Oh, that's nice. There we go. So yeah, Lich is working towards a mechanism, and it looks like the Pugna is also working towards a mech. Death Prophet does have her Bloodstone, and we do have a Hood of Defiance for Bristleback. So actually it looks like we're going to have two mechs on the Dire side. They do have the mechanism for Venomancer. But yeah, not too many huge items to speak of on the side of the Dire. I think the most they have going for them is the Helm and the Poor Man's Shield on the Luna, with Tiny getting pretty close to the Ag Scepter. He just needs to buy the recipe. So about another 1k gold, and Tiny will be online and looking to do a decent amount of damage. And in the river, we do see the Overgrowth not really doing too much at all, with nice Mass Serpent Wards zoning out the Dire, as Venomancer does kind of wrap around here. And I gotta give Shadow Shaman credit for those Mass Serpent Wards. That's really good placement for those. And we do have the Exorcism popped as Death Prophet rotates in and starts to do a ton of damage, as we do see Bristleback and Pugna get a kill on the Shadow Shaman. Death Prophet is going to clean up the Lich, as those ghosts are doing a ton of damage. Really doing a lot of work against the Luna, and it's just a massacre here. We do have the Pugna Ultimate doing a lot of work on the Tiny, as Bristleback does get that last hit on the Tiny. So that's a 3-for-0 exchange in favor of the Dire, and yeah, the Radiant, they actually, if they weren't so far behind, that would have actually been a really good fight for them, I think. They would have really been able to turn that around, but they had good positioning, good game sense and all, but yeah, they're just so far behind that really not much they can do anymore. And Death Prophet does pick up the Yule Scepter, which everyone knows is one of my favorite items. So if we're thinking about how the Radiant can come back, I guess you just hope that the Dire kind of puts their keyboards down for a while. Or you can't really out-farm them right now because they're really far ahead. So I guess you just try and maybe Rat Dota it up. Don't do any 5-on-5 engagements. Maybe pop some smoke. Try and get some smoke ganks going. And the Chain Frost will be used, but not going to do anything, or only going to get one bounce out of that. As the Toss does almost take down the Venomancer with the Plague Ward. Not necessarily blocking Luna, but I think she is going to get the kill with the last Lucent Beam there. And Bristleback just going to town on the Tiny. While we do have the Eclipse popped, not going to do too much, as Bristleback does come off of a double kill there. And Booker DeWitt is just going crazy with this Bristleback. But which Booker DeWitt is this? Which one? If you've played BioShock Infinite, you'll get that. If not, well, sorry. Venomancer does have the mechanism online, as does Pugna, so that'll just give him a ton of sustain. Really help him out in these team fights. Not that they need it. And there was a Shadow Shaman kill. And those Mass Serpent Wards do almost take down the Bristleback, but he does turn his back and run away, so not gonna do too much damage against the Bristleback with his back turned like that. That is definitely something to remember, is that with the Bristleback passive. Side and back damage is reduced by 20 and 40% respectively. And Death Prophet is on the scene, and these ghosts are just doing a ton of damage. And yeah, there's another tower down, and the game is just quickly coming to a close here as the net worth is not sorted differently, but that is 1 to 10. It's not sorted by teams. Venomancer committing the Poison Nova to the Treant Protector, and this poor guy just wants to save the trees, and he does go down. Thanks to one last right click from Venomancer. Lich does have that mechanism online, but I'm afraid that's going to be a little bit late, unfortunately. So yeah, all the Dire really need to do here is just keep pressuring this tower, and I think they'll win no problem. Death Prophet's going to go ahead and keep farming up the mid lane. As they do kind of bait out the Radiant here. And the Chain Frost is going to go down, bounce around between a lot of creeps, and not doing a ton of damage to the heroes. And there we go. It really does quite a bit of damage against the Pugna there. But he does use the Life Drain to go ahead and get himself back up to full health. And Dragon Knight rotates in with a nice Dragon Tail, going to go ahead and take down the Treant Protector as the Viscous Nasal Goo. Oh, and the turnaround with the Eclipse. Be careful, Bristleback, but he does run and gun, decides to turn around. And in the mid lane, Death Prophet just sieging with these Exorcism Spirits. And that's going to be a dead Tier 3 tower. So high ground has been broken, and it looks like we're going to see racks. So I know I said I would expect GG earlier, but I would think that'll be coming anytime soon. That's going to be 2 lanes of racks. And there's really not much the Radiant can do here. They really can't even turn it around. I mean, the ultimates aren't up. Not really too much you can do in this situation. I think what really killed it for the Radiant this game is the rotations from the mid lane for the Dire. The rotations really just help, just kind of helped everyone win their lanes, really. Help secure kills, help take down towers. Really nice rotations.
Radiant's top rags ain't gonna last long.
And the toss being used on the Venomancer, he does pop the Poison Nova, as we do have the mechanism being popped here, as Tiny says, hey man, I'm taking a lot of damage here, I'm going to get the crap out of here. And poor Tiny, he doesn't even have the Ag Scepter ready to go yet, which is just terrible, because yeah, part of the fun of playing Tiny is getting that Ag Scepter up and ready to go. So I got a feel for him. That's not a fun time of Tiny. And this Death Prophet has 3,100 hit points. That's a lot of hit points. And the Exorcism is popped yet again. And yeah, Shadow Shaman just taking a ton of damage from it, even with the Shackles. I don't think the Shackles really helped him in this case. I think they hurt him quite a bit. The Crypt Swarm doing a decent amount of damage. And these poor guys, just focus on the towers, guys. Stop it with the bad manners. Just go for the towers. The Eclipse, as Eclipse is popped, and as also the Avalanche and the Toss. And yeah, that's almost everyone down on the Radiant side. So go ahead and push these towers, and let's end the game, guys. And a nice Shackles with the Death Prophet Serpent Wards, you want to try and micro those when you can, so that when you do get those nice shackles off, you can go ahead and point the mass Serpent Wards towards the Death Prophet. And yeah, that's game. Good game for both teams. Yeah, just those rotations from the Dire really just doing work against the Radiant. Huge douches victory. Ah, that's funny. Yeah, look at this XP per minute for Death Prophet. 855. Good lord. Whew. All right, so we'll see what happens for game 2.